Chris Level here with another edition of Patriot Talk with the athletic coordinator and head coach of the Lubbock-Cooper Patriots, Liberty Patriots. Wanted to make sure that we got all that in. I wanted to thank you to say thanks to the folks at Texas Tech Federal Credit Union for sponsoring these podcasts. We certainly appreciate their support all throughout the fall and this spring and everything like that. So here to talk to Coach Sexton today about his Twitter feed, and we'll tell you that, at LibertyFB_LCP. So at LibertyFB_LCP. We'll put that up on the screen. But in recent weeks, days, that things kind of been, moving some info out. We've had some folks that you are going to be working with. And we wanted to kind of, bring that to you and kind of go through some of that. So
right, the last few weeks have been pretty busy, and it's kind of one box that we can check that we've got accomplished. So got some really good guys and ladies hired. So thanks for having us on to talk about
absolutely. So let's, first of all, not every hire has been made. You still have a lot of the, Coach Sexton still has several sports that still need to be hired. We'll kind of get to those, but some of the spots have indeed been filled. They've been approved by the school board, and hence the reason that you are announcing them. Let's go. Let's just kind of go the way that the seasons will roll, because I guess the first season that will start in the academic year for next year, which is when Liberty High School will be up and running, is in fact volleyball.
Right.
And my daughter played for Coach Anderson, but Caitlin Anderson has been, hired to be she's going to run the volleyball situation over there at Liberty High School. You've known her for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
She ran track for us when she was in high school. She was a heck of an athlete. More than that, she's a good person and very, very competitive. So she's going to take over this volleyball program and she's already hit the ground running. She has got all of her equipment ordered and uniforms ordered, and so, she comes to me and asks questions, and so she's just eager to get going, kind of like the rest of us are.
Yeah, there you go. She's got to sport you up, and I know that she's already asking some of the athletes whether they'll be sophomores or freshmen next year if you're going to participate in volleyball and in those gold medal square camps and all the stuff that the spring league or the summer league, I guess, asking for participation there. So, yeah, she's always got a smile on her face, very competitive, as you mentioned. She's about to be a mama, so I know that's a big deal in their life. But she's raring to work, and I know good culture fit for you.
Just knowing how she is, I know she's going to be working from home. And I've told her, let's try to get as much done as we can, and then we can get the rest done whenever she comes back. But I know she's going to be working from home, so that's just the way she rolls, and that's good.
Yeah, and obviously at the high school, volleyball has been really good for several years. So there's this culture with volleyball, and she's obviously been around that. Then we go to the sport you are obviously directly in charge of, and that's football, because you were a kind of a lone soldier there for a while.
Right.
Like you got this football program you're going to be in charge of, and I got no staff with me, folks. But you do now have some coordinators, some position coaches. Let's go with the coordinators first.
Right.
Duane Toliver, guy that played for Spike Dykes at Texas Tech.
Right. I worked with him, back at Lubbock-Cooper, probably 02, 03, something like that. He was a huge hire. For one, I can bounce things off of him now. He's kind of like me. He's doesn't sleep a whole lot sometimes, so I can text him at any time and say, hey, what do you think about? And with all the head coach experience that he has, he can go, I don't know if I would do that or not, or, yeah, that's a good idea. So, just having him on staff is invaluable as far as just his experience that he has.
Yeah, and he's you mentioned he's had a previous stint at Cooper. He's been in West Texas really his entire professional career, coaching career. And we'll put these graphics up on the video here so you can kind of see what Coach Toliver and Coach Anderson, if you're not. And as we go through the rest of these names, appreciate Colton Coons for helping us with that part, so you can kind of see what we had sent out. And again, it's all on the Twitter feed there. Then we go over to the offensive side because you mentioned Coach Toliver would be your defensive coordinator. You're going to be kind of, you're a defensive guy at heart.
Right, I am.
So the offensive side, a guy named Barry Newton from Sundown.
Right.
Going to coach the offensive line. Take me through Coach Newton and all the recommendations, and you just kind of he reached out and y'all kind of hit it
Right.
off.
I've known Barry for a really long time. My first job was in Morton, Texas, and Barry had just graduated from Morton, so he was still hanging around the weight room and doing some things when I got there. So got to spend some time with him right after he graduated, and just saw that he was a good person. And I actually coached his sister in basketball, and his parents were awesome. So I just kind of got to know the family while I was there in Morton. And then, probably right around Christmas, I guess, got a call from Barry, and he's like, "Hey, do you have any O-line guys in mind?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And he came over, we ate lunch, drove around for about 2.5 hours and kind of looked at facilities, and he just said, "Man, I'd love to be at Liberty," and it just clicked. And he's a West Texas guy. More than being a good coach, everybody that I've talked to about Barry through every stop that he's had in the coaching business is just how great of a guy he is, how good he is with kids, and he's going to fit in really well here at Lubbock-Cooper.
Yeah, and that's obviously what you want, as those are two key pieces.
Oh, those are huge.
Yeah, and they've got they are experienced, not I don't want to say old, but they've been at this thing. They know what it looks like.
Right.
They know, and then you've got some guys that are just kind of new to the profession that you're going to add to it, which I think it's a great mix. Let's go to the over there to Laura Bush, and they're going to have to replace some
Right.
key folks at Laura Bush next year. The triumvirate of Josh Quinton, Nick Gerber, and Matthew Lynch. And we'll go in order. So Coach Q, as everybody talks to or refers to him as, he's a guy that you've known for
Right.
a while and played at Angelo State and at Cooper.
I had the privilege to coach him, back when he played for us, and I kind of knew at that time, just by how he operated when he was in high school, that he was going to be. I was hoping he was going to be a coach someday. He's just got the mind for football, and really he's got a mind for anything that he wanted to do. There was several things that he thought about doing, and I hope I kind of talked him into coming to Lubbock-Cooper. Evidently it worked out. So he's going to be a big part of our defense. The thing about with these young guys is they have so much energy and they're so smart. And one of the things that Coach Toliver told me after meeting with these three guys, they were like, "Wow, you hired some geniuses." And I said, "Well, they've got to be smarter than me." So, I've always heard hire smarter people than you. So I'm going to surround. This whole program is going to be with really good, smart guys. So.
Well, and Coach Quinton, for the first time that I met him, he's extremely organized, but he's also very passionate.
Oh,
and there's a lot of energy there. He's
Yes.
into this. This is he's
he's built for this.
Yeah, he's really into it. And I know the folks over at Laura Bush. I feel bad for if you're going to be an eighth grader next year, because you're going to have missed out on a great experience in eighth grader. And I don't know who will be brought in there, but I just say that it's quite a compliment to the folks that are over there now, because rave reviews from
Right.
parents that I've talked to in the current 7th and 8th grade from just how great these guys are and how in tune and organized, and credit to Coach Douglas over there, who's kind of over that whole machine. But now a guy that I know so many people in this part of the state have such a healthy respect for, and Nick Gerber.
Josh actually came to me and said, I think I've got a guy. And I'm like, well, I always need guys. So he said, there's a quarterback up at WT that is going to be wanting to get into the coaching business, and he'd like to, come to Liberty. And I said, well, who is it? And he said, well, Nick Gerber. Well, if you've been around anywhere in this part of the world, you know who Nick Gerber is. You know, he's been.
We don't want to say world. We'll just say the state. Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't want
well,
Nick.
maybe in West Texas.
Yeah. Coach Q may get frustrated if we blow Nick up too much here.
But
yeah, I get what you're saying.
was a heck of a high school
Yes, he
quarterback, and then was at Tech for a little bit, and then found a home at WT, and has been their bread and butter up at WT for 4 or 5 years up there, and traveled a few times to watch him play. And just by watching him play, I kind of made up my mind that that's who I would like to run or help run our offense. So he's gonna fit in so well with Coach Newton. Coach Newton's kind of he's gonna be more of a laid back guy, and just like Josh, Nick has a ton of energy and just a offensive mind. And we were at a clinic not too long ago, and Nick was just taking notes with every lecture. So always wanting to learn, and so excited to have him on board and get him going.
Yeah, I knew Nick when he first came to Tech, but yeah, that's the pride of Levelland Texas, because I believe he's the answer. Still, I think this is true. He's an answer to a trivia question. I think he's thrown for more yards in high school and Texas high school than anybody else. And when you think about the lineage of different players that have come through this state, and I think this is regardless of classification. So he can sling it, but he's got the mind for it, and one thing that you'll find with Nick is he knows everything about everything going on with high school athletics, because this is his passion. I think a lot of family members in coaching and
Yeah, his dad's been in the education business for a long time. His brother is a coach out at Shallow Water, so
he just kind of that's just what he's about and everything.
And he had several opportunities to go different places.
He did.
So we're very fortunate to have him.
Yes, very very much so. I think in high school and college he did. Liberty, very fortunate to get him, and I know that says a lot about you, Coach, too. But the next guy, I'm a big fan of just his family. We're talking about Matthew Lynch here, but obviously Corey Lynch, Coach Lynch, over at the current high school now. He is involved with the football program, was the JV basketball coach. Wonderful human, really good just coach.
Right.
And his son Coulter, who is, I guess, Matthew's cousin.
Yes, sir.
Coulter going to go play football at Abilene Christian and done a good job with the offensive line after they moved in from, I think, Panhandle. Yeah, there you go. They've just been in really big time high school athletics, and Matthew is over at Laura Bush now, and he fits right in, and he's
right.
How many state championships?
4.
Yeah, Matthew's won 4 state championships.
So we've got these 2 collegiate athletes, and Matthew likes to remind them that he's got 4 state championships. So I think he's won 2 in basketball, 2 in football, and he grew up in Canadian and was very successful up there. I've known his dad for a long time. His dad was a head coach when I was up in the Panhandle at Clarendon, and so really known his dad Kyle, and now he's a superintendent down at Seminole. So he's been in and around the coaching business for a long time. So he knows how it is and all the things that you have to do to be a good, successful coach. He's seen it. His dad's been successful. His uncle's been successful. So he's going to be a good addition also.
Yeah, and obviously there's a great chemistry with those 3 guys. They've worked together. All those teams over at Laura Bush have been really, really good. So I know that's and then they obviously know a segment of the athletes they'll be coaching as well. So anyway, we've spent time around all 3 guys and really, really good people. And so football-wise, I didn't want to gloss over this because some of these guys are also going to, like Coach Toliver will do some other things too.
Right. Everybody at Liberty is going to have, maybe a second or third sport.
Okay.
So Coach Toliver is going to help with track, just wherever we need him. If we need him to be an admin for something, he's done that for a long time, so he can fill in there. If I'm gone doing something, I feel totally comfortable with him or Coach Newton, stepping in and helping out if I'm not around. Coach Newton is going to be our head powerlifting coach. So, and then he could possibly help out with some track when we need it. So, those guys are very versatile. They're going to be able to
Which is
do,
what you wanted and needed.
yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I've kind of looked at. When we were starting to look for coaches, is all right. You're going to have to teach class. You're going to have to coach multiple sports. So, I really looked for some people that were small town guys at one point, worked in small towns, maybe played in a small town. Nick did 3 sports or maybe even 4 at Levelland. So and then of course Coach Lynch, he's done everything at Canadian. So these guys are going to be able to do multiple things. They're not just one-sided and go, well, I just coach receivers. That's all I know and that's all I want to do. So I think we can plug them in wherever we need them.
Yeah, and I think that's because at this classification, we're going to get into the fact that I don't think that Liberty's in a district just yet. That could be
Should be happening pretty soon.
On the cusp of that happening. But at this level, you're going to just roll from sport to sport, and these are coaches that have been used to not having a full off season with kids, right. And you're used to kind of dabbling in other sports, and then obviously. Kids are just rolling from sport to sport or season to season.
Well, that's going to be the big thing at Liberty. We're going to really push all of our kids to do as many sports as they want to do. We're going to recognize those kids who do multiple sports. We're going to put your name on a plaque. We're going to recognize you at our athletic banquets that you're a 3 or more sport athlete. So the more sports that you can do, more power to you. We're gonna make it work.
Good, yeah. So Coach Gerber, who we talked about, obviously QB's coach and helping with the offense. He's also going to help with basketball.
Right. Yeah, he's going to be our assistant boys basketball.
Yeah, and
coach.
he was a stud hooper too in high school. You
right.
mentioned one of those other sports. And Coach Quentin with wrestling and Coach Lynch with track. So, yeah, right. I just wanted to make sure that and there's some other additions to the football staff that we can't really say anything about yet, but they're
in the works.
The lip of the cup right there, to use a golf terminology, and we don't have, a golf coach yet, speaking of, or wrestling. Or
might be sitting right beside you. I don't know.
Okay, well, yeah, you may be doing it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'd let you try to, you could drive me down the road and tell me to.
We've been on the golf course a little bit. So.
That's right. Yeah, you've got some golf in your background from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah, just a little.
So, but Lamar Kello is somebody that is going to coach baseball for you,
right.
And he's got some ties to Cooper West. Yes. I'll let you kind of explain
both of his parents,
where he came from.
Yeah, both of his parents have at one time or another worked at Cooper West Elementary, so a lot of these kids that are going to be freshmen may know the Kellos from West Elementary. So he's going to coach baseball for us, and he came in to interview for an assistant football spot. He's going to coach running backs, and as we were talking, he's currently the offensive coordinator down at Andrews, and was talking about his baseball background, and so kind of topic turned to baseball, and he had always wanted to be a head baseball coach, so I think that's a good fit. He's also going to teach some math for us, and so excited to have a math teacher on board.
So head baseball coach, running backs coach, and math teacher, which reminds me to ask you about, I don't think people, I didn't really grasp this, but as I've been around it and kind of watched you maneuver this and been a part of certain conversations, it's amazing how what you and Phillip and everybody are trying to do, because it's not just, hey, let's just call the best coach and then put him in here,
right.
And then pay him a ton of money and all this stuff. No, there's
it's a puzzle,
a huge puzzle on. Yeah, they've got to check a variety of different boxes on what they can teach. We only have so much room for teachers. And so you have all these different subjects, and so you're just looking for people to fill those spots.
Right.
And when they start, when somebody comes on your radar that you really like and they check 3 or 4 boxes, it's like you just hold on to them for dear life.
Right. So as soon as you see a coach that you want, then you look at that teaching with, it's not going to work. Or, with with Coach Kello, it was like math. And,
You're like, yes.
when principals see math and science and all the core classes, they tend to perk up a little bit. But Philip's been great to work with. He has, sat through all of these, coaches' interviews. And, as soon as we get through, he's like, yep, let's get them. Let's get them.
It's amazing how often y'all are tucked away here in the central office, and there's somebody that's sitting in with you,
Right.
just because you're whether it's a teacher or potential coach or both or whatever, it's because you are in the thick of it now. I mean,
Right.
you can see the trains on the tracks. You can start to see
We can see the light coming.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
right. That's right. That's right. Okay, which brings us to the fact that right now, as you and I sit here and talk, basketball seasons are either already over for some schools. They are in the midst of playoff runs, and
Right.
they could end at any given time as the state tournament is just off a few weeks away. But you don't have anything done yet from a head basketball coach for boys and a head basketball coach for girls yet. So I'll let you kind of speak to that because I know a lot of people are interested in that.
Well, we really wanted to wait until, later in their seasons. We didn't want to try to get coaches in here that were in the middle of their seasons trying to interview and take time away from their team. So we were going to wait until, basketball season came to an end. But like you said, we're just about there. So we're going to start posting probably pretty quick our boys and girls basketball jobs. And I anticipate some really good applicants coming in. There's, basketball is going to be a, pretty big deal at Liberty High School just for the mere fact that it's going to be
When you got your numbers,
right.
I think they were eye-popping to
Right.
you guys,
Right.
to
there's-
everybody involved, for
there's
boys
going
and
to be
girls.
there's going to be folks that are doing everything. They're going to play football, basketball, track, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, golf, soccer, so there's going to be so many sports to choose from. But those other sports like soccer, we're going to be starting to talk to some people for soccer coaches here before long. Golf, tennis, we've got a baseball coach. We've got a great baseball coach already.
Nothing done with softball yet.
Softball, they're just starting, their regular season. I think most softball teams are still in their tournament preseason kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So hadn't talked to softball yet, but I anticipate some pretty good softball coaches wanting to come also.
Okay. And as we start to finish up your football staff, which there's some hires that you'll be able to announce soon, and then some of these other hires are made, we'll kind of circle back
Right.
and be able to bring those to you. But I would encourage people to follow at Liberty FB _LCP. Again, we'll put that graphic up on the screen. But you're able to release some uniform stuff recently. I think there's a football helmet.
Got a helmet coming.
Okay, yeah,
That's going to be a big deal.
yeah, and it's a pretty.
I'm excited
sweet,
about having
it's a
that.
pretty sweet design. I do. Will tell you that you did really well there. It's a clean look. It brands your program, your school, and all those things. So it's a lot of fun. I think a lot of the other programs will be able to follow in the footsteps. Like as far as the summer goes, we've talked about this a little bit, but take me through how quickly y'all will start reaching out to these athletes, whether they're going to be sophomores or, I guess, freshmen next year. Because the middle school kids don't really know how high school works. So
we've got a Sports U also set up for Liberty football, and the way we're going to do summer workouts, and summer workouts are going to start June 12th. We'll go 3 weeks in June, and we'll go 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And kind of the way we're going to set it up, kind of a small school kind of thing. We're going to bring up all the boys and girls, high school boys and girls athletes, let them work out from 8:30 to 10 in the morning. Coach Q is going to be running all these summer workouts. And then we're going to bring up some middle school guys too. So if you're zoned for Laura Bush, you're going to be able to come work out with high school coaches also. And the reason that I'm doing that is we want to create a bond between the boys and girls athletes. I think sometimes, if I don't know who you are, I'm probably not going to really come watch you play. But if I've worked out with you all summer long, really wanting all the football guys and everybody else, all the male athletes to go watch volleyball games, to go watch girls basketball games. So we're going to really try to build that small school atmosphere that all the athletes are going to support each other. So if they're working out with each other all summer long, I feel like there's going to be a better chance that they're going to be more vested in coming to watch volleyball games.
You're trying to create a culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about being at Liberty right now is we get to create our own culture.
It's a blank slate.
Right.
Yeah.
And all the traditions and everything that we're going to get started is brand new. You know, we can't use that term, well, we've always done it like that. because
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny how many people have come up. What are they going to do for homecoming next year? Because nobody's coming home. Hey,
Right.
that's the beauty. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
I mean, you can have something. You can do, and then you just start to build it. But that's the very few chances to have an opportunity like this where you're in a pretty big city. Okay,
Right.
well, I think we would agree, Lubbock, 350,000 proper population-wise, and you're in a small school.
Right.
And
That
it
was-
won't
that
be
was-
that. And it won't
that was
be that.
really appealing. To do that, you know?
Yeah, I can see why, and it won't be like that for forever. I mean, it's gonna grow, substantially
It's
here
gonna
fairly
grow
quickly.
really quick.
Yeah, that's right. So there's just the sweet spot, but still, the point still stands. It's kind of a fun opportunity, and probably so many of your coaches, like this is such a unique, because so many of these coaches have been in smaller towns.
Right.
And with smaller towns, there's some positives and negatives, but it's rare that you have all the that comes with Lubbock, Texas, and being in a really kind of a small school environment, at least for a little bit.
You were talking about summer workout. So one of the things that I'm going to do here before long is I'm going to get, we've got a Sports U page up. So I will be at both middle schools because we will get some pretty good athletes from Cooper Middle School also.
Yes.
So I'm going to have all of our Sports U information out to both middle schools, to some of our high school freshmen that are going to be coming. So all of our summer workout information will be on that Sports U page. So once we can get parents on there, and that's all going to happen pretty quick, I'll start posting the code to that Sports U so people can start jumping on there, and every bit of information that you're ever going to want is going to be on that Sports U page.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Well, Coach, I appreciate it. I think we've covered everything. Football hires being made. You've got a volleyball coach. You've got a baseball coach. Still some other sports you're still trying to fill, and things like that. We know some coaches that they're going to be involved in a variety of different sports. And Principal Saffel is obviously in the midst of putting staff
Right.
together as well on his side of it from an academic standpoint too. But construction's rolling. I think they're about to put pretty close to putting that turf in.
Right.
Lights are going up. New scoreboard will go up here pretty quick, and away we go.
It's going to happen real fast.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Coach, I appreciate you spending some
You bet.
time with me
Anytime.
today. Absolutely. We will do this again and do it again very soon. But again, follow that Twitter account at LibertyFB_LCP. You can follow at Athletics LCP as well. So that's the district athletic account. We'll obviously pass along things like that. So anyway, thanks you again to Texas Tech Federal Credit Union. This has been another edition of Patriot Talk.